To comprehend the sheer scale and density of Hong Kong, you have to look down at it from above. For over a century, Victoria Peak has been the ultimate vantage point to capture that iconic, towering skyline. But capturing that perfect image comes with heavy friction. 7 million people visit the peak every year. The default tourist experience involves waiting in 2-hour queues, only to pay 75 Hong Kong dollars for elbow room on a crowded viewing platform. And that assumes you can see the city at all. Victoria Peak has its own microclimate. A dense weather pattern known locally as the cloud dragon frequently rolls in and swallows the summit, trapping unsuspecting visitors in total whiteout conditions. Navigating these hurdles depends on choices of timing and geography. Success on the mountain is less about a standard ticket and more about understanding the local topography. Experiencing the true grandeur up the peak requires treating the visit as a mission of calculated trade-offs rather than a simple checklist item. In the early 1880s, the only way for residents to reach the cooler climate of the peak was by sedan chair. The entire transportation network relied on intense manual labor up steep, winding dirt paths. That changed in 1888 with the construction of the historic Peak Tram. Engineers had to design a funicular railway, a system using cables and counterweights to conquer a 25.7-degree mountain slope. If you secure a seat on the right side of the ascending carriage, that extreme gradient creates a massive optical illusion. As you climb, the towering skyscrapers of the Central District appear to lean backward, falling away from the mountain. The tram's evolution mirrors the development of Hong Kong itself. It took a steep piece of terrain and made it accessible through high-density engineering. Once you reach the summit, the default path leads directly to the Peak Tower and its paid observation deck, Sky Terrace 428. For photographers, this platform presents immediate problems: heavy crowds, a ban on tripods, and safety glass that creates glare. Local photographers often bypass the tower and head for Lugard Road. This free, paid path circles the mountain just below the summit. A short walk brings you to an open vantage point where tripods are welcome, the glass is gone, and the harbor is framed by natural tropical foliage. While the Sky Terrace sits at the highest elevation, Lugard Road uses an offset angle. This physical positioning allows you to shoot past the immediate topography, creating a textured composition of the city below. By trading a few meters of paid elevation for natural terrain, you secure a better image. The most impressive views of Hong Kong are a matter of perspective, not an admission fee. Even with the perfect location, success depends on the mountain's microclimate. Before leaving the hotel, you must check the Hong Kong Observatory's live webcams. If the cameras show a hazy summit, the visit is best postponed. When you do have a clear sky, timing dictates the story you capture. Arriving during the golden hour, just before sunset, allows warm light to rake across the glass towers, highlighting the city's architectural form. 30 minutes after the sun dips behind the mountains, the city enters the blue hour. This brief window provides a balance between the deep natural light in the sky and the warm, golden electricity clicking on inside the office buildings. Planning your ascent for the late afternoon sets you up to remain on the mountain for 8 p.m., when the daily symphony of lights synchronizes lasers and building displays across the harbor. By tracking the weather and holding your position, you see how these lighting transitions transform the city below into a dynamic arrangement of shadow and architecture. Right after the 8 p.m. light show concludes, thousands of tourists simultaneously attempt to leave. The queues for the return tram and local taxis swell, turning the end of the night into a frustrating waiting game. You can avoid this bottleneck by hiking down. Old Peak Road is a historic, well-lit path that winds directly down the steep mountainside. For anyone with average fitness, it is a 45-minute walk that drops you right into the mid-levels, a short distance from the central subway lines. The descent shifts the scale of the landscape. The monolithic skyline you viewed from the top breaks apart, replaced by intimate glimpses of steel and glass framed by the tropical canopy. Descending through the jungle path, the mountain emerges as a tropical oasis, a quiet counterweight to the extreme urban density of the city below.